Chapter 0. It would be wrong to say it was sweating from side to side. It was actually shaking rather intensely. The room I was in, it was shaking from side to side. The shaking was quite irregular. Just when you thought it was a series of small shakes, it would suddenly shake violently. And every time that happened, I'd have to steady myself with my foot. I couldn't stand up very well, but for me, it was comforting. I never thought not knowing what to expect could be so fun, so I was feeling rather excited. But I figured I'd rather get bored of that feeling soon enough. That's what I was expecting. For me, a person who is loved by talent, detecting irregularities among irregularities won't be that difficult. How boring. Do you like ships? At the other end of the dock room, I heard a voice. It was clearly directed at me. You look like you're having fun, so that's what I assumed. You do like ships, right? Ships? That's right, that's it. So this is a trap. You just realize that now? Is it really that funny? If you want, care to talk a little? The sounds are starting to bore me. Instantly I saw his true character. The old familiar attitude, the friendly smile. Under that thin skin, I could detect a foul, offensive odor like some kind of putrid slime. In a sensible way, of course. How should I put this? It was a smell exclusive to those who were already finished. Nice to meet you. I'm Nagito Komaeda. Anyway, lucky me. It's been a while since anyone was willing to talk to me, so to share a room with a person like that, I'm definitely lucky. Lucky? So that's your talent then. What a boring talent. Boring talent, huh? Well, that's exactly what it is. But for someone I'm meeting for the first time to say that so suddenly, that's because I have luck as well. Huh? Even I possess a talent as boring as luck. Possess? I'm starting to get really interested. Who are you? You're obviously from Most Peak Academy too, right? So you're one of us? Well, that's weird. This is the first time I've ever seen you. How can you tell me why you're here? How did you end up here? How boring. Alright, I'm often told I'm terrible at making conversation. Not you. This world. Huh? This world is full of boring people. People who lack talent stick together and oppose those who do possess talent. Even though they know they're insignificant, they don't try to acknowledge their true superiors. They are profoundly desperate to drag them down to their level. And because of these bastards, this world has come to a deadlock. This world has stopped evolving. How boring. Well, the world is shaped by the will of the majority. It makes sense that it bends to those who lack talent. That's why we're in our present situation. Perhaps that does it have anything to do with the reason you're here? Boring people make no contributions to the world, not even a speck of dust. That's why my teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. Looks like they had high expectations for you, huh? That's completely different from me. But what are you planning to do? Now that you've ended up like this, there's nothing you can do, right? Listen well, using people is a talent too. It is now my turn to use that person just as they used me in the past. That person? Are you talking about ultimate despair? How? I mean, they're already... I have it with me. The contribution that person left to me, even now it rests in my pocket. Wait, what? Then will I be able to see her again? Will I be able to see the person I hate with every fiber of my being again? And this time, will I be able to kill her this time? The person I hate so much? Hate? Then explain your hand. This? The end of that bandage is a woman's hand, right? Isn't it amazing? I can't move it, of course. I mean, it's not my hand after all. But even now, it still hasn't rotted. Maybe that means it's becoming one with me. Isn't it amazing? I have successfully become one with ultimate despair, my sworn enemy. I see, so you've salvaged the body. You really are a boring person. listen. I don't want you to misunderstand. I just see her as my enemy, you know. Because she's my sworn enemy, because I hate her so much. That's why I took her power, and for that Do I hate her? That's strange. Look out the window, we're finally here. You're starting to see it too, right? That's Jabberwock Island, isn't it? I wonder what's going to happen on the island once we get there. What's going to happen? I can already predict what will happen. I already know because I am loved by talent. But no matter what happens, it's of no concern to me. I will not be able to participate in what lies ahead. Really? I don't really understand, but I guess we have to part ways for a while. That's, disappointing. We seem to get along pretty well. Can I see you again? There's no reason we'll ever meet again. After all, you're boring. Your talent, your thoughts, your entire existence is boring to me. You really don't play along, do you? Whoa, that was interesting. Huh. Wow. Huh? What is this? It's a door. There's a door. Huh? A door? Why is a door here? Where am I? How did I get here? Where am I supposed to go? Huh? Isn't this a classroom? But even so, it's a very strange classroom. Why am I in a place like this? I went inside the entry room with everyone else. And I arrived at a place that looked like a trial ground. But then why? It's not connecting. I don't know why I'm here. It's like there's no connection between how I left the trial ground and how I ended up here. It's just like before. When we all gathered in that classroom just before we arrived at Jabberwock Island. Where is this place? Is it somewhere on Jabberwock Island?
Ahem, ahem, testing, testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system. Am I on? Can everyone hear me? Okay, well then. Welcome to Hope Speak Academy, you guys! At this point, I shall explain the graduation exam to you all. So please assemble at the gymnasium immediately!
Nani? Did you say what I think he just said? Welcome to Hope's Peak Academy. Why would this be Hope's Peak Academy? And not just that, what is the graduation exam? Isn't the killing over already? Ooh. What is going on here? It's probably a building that Monokuma made to startle us, just like the funhouse. That's right, that's definitely it. Let's take a look at these things. Yeah, it's just as I thought. This was the original building. Interesting. I wonder what's going on inside here. Alright, into the gym we go. So what are we gonna see? This is the end. Goodbye, Academy of Despair. I wasn't prepared for what was waiting for me on this other side of that door. Is it just us? Oh, they're here.
Damn right.
Yo,
You heard the announcement and came here too? You guys did too, right?
What's going on?
What do you make of all this? Monokuma said this place was Hope's Peak Academy or something.
that is...
That cannot be possible.
Well, yeah.
You're right. Any way you look at it, it's impossible. How does it feel to return to long-awaited Hope's Peak Academy?
Why, you...
You.
Where are we? Where'd you lock us up this time?
That's...
What a shock. I just told you this is Hope's Peak Academy.
Of course not!
There is no way in hell that's true.
No, no!
Oh, but it is. I mean, this is definitely Hope's Peak Academy. Well, what's left of it anyway? What's left of it?
What?
Didn't I tell you before? Unfortunately, Hope's Peak Academy fell to ruin.
Lies!
Hey, what up? You were serious about that?
Stupid fool!
But of course it fell through, and I mean, they were doing things that they deserved to be ruined for. What do you mean?
I don't like this!
Anyway, I'm pretty disappointed. I went to all this trouble to bring you to Hope's Peak Academy, and you don't feel surprised or nostalgic.
Fine, fine.
Oh well, it's not like I did this for you guys. Even if you don't feel nostalgic, I'm sure someone is feeling nostalgic right now. Someone?
Don't fuck with me!
Enough of the bullshit. Just spit it out already. Where'd you take us, you bastard? Though I'm not certain of my memories, I believe we entered the ancient ruin and...
In other words...
I made this Hope's Peak Academy between the door to the ruin and the inside of the ruin.
You.
What do you mean between?
Hey, hey, hey!
What do you mean made?
What's this?
Are your minds getting into grumblies that only knowledge can satisfy? Good, very good. It's fine to hurry along to the graduation exam, but it's in my nature to provide a little entertainment. Entertainment? You're planning to make us do something, aren't you?
No way!
It's nothing to be so cautious about. It's not like you'll be making life exchanges or anything like that.
Shing!
It's just a simple graduation exam.
Huh?
And what is the graduation exam? Then what is the graduation?
Hey,
What did I think about chapter 0? It was very interesting when he revealed his hand. That was the hand of what's her face? The girl from the first game, right? As a headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. Yeah, her. I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate.
are you sure about this?
But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world.
So...
That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here.
Why?
We're obviously gonna get out. There's no way we'd stay here.
That's right!
This is annoying. Just hurry up and let us choose. Let us choose right now.
No, no, no!
You can't do that. The main cast hasn't arrived yet. Main cast? Wait, main cast?
Hey,
Meaning you guys are just extras until the guest of honor arrives.
damn it!
So enough complaining already. Hurry up and start researching the outside world.
Uh-huh.
I have dispersed all the teaching materials you need for your research there at Hope's Peak Academy. Well, I don't think this needs to be said, but all the information is accurate and contains no lies whatsoever. Otherwise, the main cast is gonna hate me. So please rest assured and strive to do your best during your field trip. And as usual, after leaving us with his cryptic words, Monokuma disappeared. Even if the setting had changed, even if the killing was finished, he was still the same as usual. Somehow I have a bad feeling about this. I'm very curious.
Hey, hey!
Like, he kept insisting that this place is Hope's Peak Academy. But that's impossible, right?
What are you saying?
How do we make it back to Hope's Peak Academy from a tropical island in the first place? Impossible.
It cannot be.
There is no place for Hope's Peak Academy to exist on Jabberwock Island. Say I wanted to go back, but I don't want to go back to a creepy place like this. What does this mean? So many things I don't understand have happened on the island. But this building, is really Hope's Peak Academy? This is the Hope's Peak Academy I've been admiring for so long? What in the world is going on? Why is this happening? Why? I was finally able to attend Hope's Peak Academy. I finally thought I'd become confident in myself. Even so, I wanted to become Hope. If that's what you're thinking, just stop it. Listen carefully. The only humans worthy of becoming Hope possess amazing talent and a strong will. And the memories you're born into this world, you either have that or you don't. It has nothing to do with effort. You must be chosen by Hope to become Hope. That's why it's not even worth admiring. Or were you so blinded by your admiration for Hope's Peak Academy that you couldn't even see that? You're just some nobody from the reserve course who never had a talent to begin with. Why do I have to go through something like this? Something happen?
Hey, bastard!
Now's not the time to zone out. I don't really get it, but is that all?
I'm gonna do it!
As long as they don't beat the crap out of Monokuma, nothing's gonna be solved. Is that what it means?
Hey!
I forgot the name of the guy in the picture when I looked at it. Forgot his name. He's not part of the Future Foundation, right? If you say that, then what is the Future Foundation?
Jeez.
Even though Chiaki and Monomi are gone, our situation hasn't changed one bit, which means the Future Foundation wasn't our enemy. That's the only thing I can think of.
You serious?
Yuzuru Kamakura. Okay.
However...
Future Foundation is responsible for trapping us on this island, right? Regarding that matter, I believe Monomi never once denied that.
Damn it.
Yuzuru Kamakura, got it. Even if they're our allies, they might not just be allies. Maybe Monokuma was telling us to investigate that information on our own. Chiaki said she cannot betray the Future Foundation, but if she were still alive, she definitely would have helped us. Now, even her just being with us would have been a big help. So what should we do?
Damn it.
Well, it's obvious. If we're gonna get out of here safely, we have to do that graduation exam, right?
So annoying.
Graduation exam, huh? I'm not really good at taking exams. Well, I guess it's better than people dying.
Jeez.
All right!
Prepare yourself!
Like...
Yeah, if we might be able to learn about something about Hope's Peak Academy and about ourselves. I don't care if we don't know anymore. If we can just go back to our normal lives, I'm fine.
Hey!
We can go home when this is over, right? We can finally get off this damn island, right? If that's the case, let's all leave this island by any means.
Of course!
I need to leave this island with the others. We sacrificed so many lives in order to survive just so we could do that. There's no way we can stop now, but Monokuma should already know that that's what we're thinking. So why did he say that? We have to decide on our own whether or not we want to leave Jabberwock Island. We should already know that we'd never choose to stay on this island. Or he should know.
Hey!
So what are we gonna do? Can we start already? But what are we even looking for? Do we just have to investigate this weird-ass building?
Even so.
I don't think we'll find the answers to all the questions inside this damn building. Well, I'll just go on ahead for now.
Whoa!
You're already going?
Jeez.
What's that idiot thinking, running ahead without being cautious?
Man.
She obviously isn't thinking about anything.
However...
It will be fine. There will no longer be any situations where we must exchange each other's lives.
Alright!
We should do our best as well. Like they say, it is not scary if everyone stops at a green light. If we stopped at the green light, we'd never reach our goal, right?
Jeez. You're
Akane already
pathetic.
took off on her own. It might be faster we split up and looked around too. Like Sony said, if there's no more killing, we don't have to worry about anyone betraying us anymore. Then let's get this over with and go home.
Later.
Excuse me.
I shall do my best to obtain a wonderful clue that will be useful to everyone. Now then, please excuse me.
Oh my.
I wonder where we can explore.
Miss Sonia!
Do we get to explore the entire building or just certain places? Okay, cool. The first place I wanna... Oh, hello. Nani? This is the hallway I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but... clearly different. What is going on? The first place I want to look... I can't go in here, right? Yeah, I can't. Okay. Am I allowed to go here? Nope. I guess I can only go to the dojo? What is this? Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma? Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this? Let's start with history first, class.
Hey,
Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. And what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. Alright, so what's in here? Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. But built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it is also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes that they will not be able to progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system, the Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high school students. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academies managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Nani? The ending was so sudden, like a manga that's suddenly cancelled in the middle of its run. Plus, these phrases mentioned at the end of this manga, the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. These names are so melodramatic, there's no way these incidents really happened, right? This manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know the details, but... you know, it would just be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga, the Reserve Department. That department was only built to collect money. I was one of those reserve course students, right?
But hold on.
That's weird. Oh, you're here again.
Shing!
The thing that's weird is you, of course. Huh?
Hey!
Why did you forget that you were part of the reserve department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that too. What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Based on my assumption, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of those reserve course students.
I got it!
Or you willingly sealed those memories yourself. Huh? You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. It happens pretty often. Not that I know anything about that, though. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it.
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of a reserve course student. Am I gonna end up in a new area now? Hi?
What's going on?
Oh, I can go in here now. Okay. You know, in the first game, I never went into these classrooms. These two classrooms. This is another manga that's laying on top of the desk. Manga from Lawrence, The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. I took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages to see what I could learn about the event known as the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamakura. Izuru was a genius known as the symbol of hope. Wait a second. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate... Hold on. What? To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who is known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy Student Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. What? However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and concealed the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of reserve course students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began, and that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, tragic event in human history. More excited, Danganronpa 0. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy. For a genius known as the Ultimate Hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent. But Ultimate Hope. Nagito mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope, but for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. Here it said the reserve corps students in the reserve department began an uprising. And what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way I have reason to do something like that. Yeah, I'm sure it'll all come together to me once we get to that point. I've learned about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, but... And who's this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to the advantage. Who is that? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. Where can I go now? Here? There we go. Wait, I'm gonna feed, or I'm gonna give the pet some presents real quick. Alright, Biolab. What will I uncover here? Another manga? Another one? It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. There's a Monokuma!
I've been found!
Alright, what is this? Manga for more. It's the biggest, most awful, tragic event in human history. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. The beginning of this creepy manga starts with the sentence, "The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger." At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. But then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. Destruction butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them, and soon, the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, and seamless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. The feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coup d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society use their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful tragic event in human history. As long as the ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. Then what's happening in the outside world?
No way!
Are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this?
Wah?
Oh my, you don't like manga?
Whew.
A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault though, next to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues are here are real.
Hello.
I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. Oh man. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. And the outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps no. It's definitely it. If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy? Well, if they're actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then are the killings were involved in connected to them as well? It's no use, I'm going to freeze to death. I'm at my limit, I need to get out of here. Shivering around out of freeze room. Huh. Here? Yep. Why is he here?
Jeez.
When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was suddenly here. He keeps glancing at me. I wonder why.
Damn right.
So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either.
Hiya! No, no!
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. High school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. It's about the key piece of information you've been waiting for so long.
What?
It's about ultimate despair. Huh? Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days, it was
Actually,
originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. A high school girl?
yes indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima. Junko Enoshima?
Hey,
As the former Ultimate Despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the Ultimate Despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
Don't fuck with me!
I don't know what the Ultimate Despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power.
phew.
Her connections were the main reason that incident became a tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat.
Huh?
Then what was their purpose?
Huh?
Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
Hey,
It was Junko Enoshima's despair. Huh? For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair. What the hell? With their overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs from one by one. She controlled the despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so, the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's worms. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god, like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair to so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed there was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible.
What?
Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Course Academy students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days?
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. That is also true of famous people throughout history. What do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
of course.
They fulfilled their roles as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to. And so the 2,357 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide. Mass suicide?
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students? It wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. That's us. One person was excluded, huh? Is that me?
Damn it!
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair, Junko Enoshima. It doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima is already dead. Huh? Ultimate despair has been added to your truth bullet section of your handbook. Reserve department has been updated in your handbook. Interesting.